Donald Trump has been panicking all morning as the true deal terms that he entered into potentially, hypothetically, maybe not with Iran have been published. So what he's been discussing as the new deal, well, those terms went public, and here's what Donald Trump is saying about it. I'll go through what those purported terms are, and of course, I will give a gigantic asterisk that Donald Trump has done this 39 times now, where he said there's about to be a deal. I suppose what makes this slightly different is that the foreign minister of Iran has confirmed that there's about to be a deal as well. And so that adds a little bit of a wrinkle to it. The foreign minister, Araghchi, says the Islamabad memorandum is about to be entered into. So hang tight. That makes this a little different, but let's just go through the data. Here's what Donald Trump posted first thing this morning. The terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as a deal in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships, leaving the Hormuz Strait, is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together and fast. Donald J. Trump. Now, interestingly, India has summoned the United States Foreign Secretary of State to determine the U.S. blockade's behavior in the Persian Gulf, but it's a whole other story. Here's what the Trump regime is saying. This from a senior administration official. Here's what they're telling state regime media, Fox, Kayleigh McEnany. Do we have a deal yet? No, but we are very close. The official estimates that a deal is 75% there, not 100% yet. While this is tentative, we feel confident that we will be signing this in the next few days. We have agreed to the concepts and the details, but the deal is not done until we sign it. A top Trump official telling Fox the concept of a deal is conceptually there, but we don't know it's 75% after Donald Trump saying the deal has been done in the Oval Office. Let's talk about what we know about the terms so far. A permanent and immediate ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon. The United States and its allies would be required to present reconstruction plans for Iran worth at least $300 billion, a U.S. commitment not to interfere in Iran's internal affairs and to respect the sovereignty of the Islamic Republic of Iran, full lifting of the naval blockade within 30 days, a U.S. commitment to withdraw its forces from areas surrounding Iran, reopening of the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days under arrangements determined by Iran, suspension of sanctions on the sale of oil, petrochemical products, and related derivatives, along with full Iranian access to the resulting financial revenue, a 60-day negotiating period aimed at reaching a final agreement covering nuclear issues, and the complete removal of U.S. primary and secondary sanctions, as well as the repeal of relevant resolutions of the United Nations Security Council and the IAEA Board of Governors, reaffirmation by Iran of its commitment under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty not to produce nuclear weapons. During the negotiation period, the United States would commit not to deploy additional forces to the region and not to impose any new sanctions, the release of $24 billion in frozen Iranian funds during the 60-day final negotiation period. Half of this amount must be made available to Iran before negotiations begin. The establishment of a monitoring mechanism to oversee implementation of the agreement. The final agreement would need to be approved by the United Nations Security Council. Final negotiations would not begin before the release of half of Iran's frozen assets, the suspension of oil sanctions, and the lifting of the naval blockade. The final agreement would focus exclusively on the future of enriched nuclear material and uranium enrichment sanctions relief, and a program for rebuilding Iran's economy. Discussion of Iran's missile program and its support for resistance groups would be definitively excluded from the agenda. That's what Iran says the deal is. Then a White House official said, here's the deal. It's 5 points. Nuclear material will be destroyed and removed. Nuclear program will be dismantled. None of their money released until they perform. Strait of Hormuz will be open. No Iran funding of terrorist groups. The official adds, this is what they agreed to. This is a performance-based deal. Now, J.D. Vance put out the following statement. And notice the language that he uses to dance around it. If you read what he's saying, it does sound more like what Iran said was the deal. But watch how Vance tries to hide it with his wording. I'm seeing a lot of fake information about a potential deal to reopen the strait and end Iran's nuclear weapons program. First, the Iranians are not receiving any cash, and no funds are being released for simply signing a deal or attending a meeting. So pause there. We're not going to give them cash, but he does say funds, but he says no funds are being released for simply signing a deal or attending a meeting. Okay. The deal is structured to ensure that the U.S. and its allies' concerns are prioritized, and that if the Islamic Republic of Iran meets its obligations, then economic benefits will flow to them and to the entire region. That seems to indicate the region. $300 billion fund, not cash, funds in an investment pool for the region. This deal has the potential to remake the region and lead to lasting peace. And this seems to confirm that Qatar and Saudi Arabia and UAE and Bahrain and Kuwait and all of the neighbors were involved in this and wanted this as well. You'll recall that Foreign Minister Araghchi spoke with the UAE Foreign Minister yesterday. And I certainly believe a lot of that discussion involved this investment fund, with UAE being involved in that as well. It was notable to me, and I pointed this out to you, that you had the Foreign Minister of Iran speaking with the UAE after real significant hostilities there. There was also reporting this morning about a deal that was secretly entered into earlier in the war between Iran and Qatar. Remember, I suspected that that was taking place a few months back. I said, I think they entered into kind of a secret deal here because I noticed some of the hostilities that were stopping. And the deal was Qatar would voluntarily shut down its petrochemical facilities and some of its oil facilities so that Iran wouldn't destroy it, as basically showing a sign of submission to Iran, or neutrality, if you will, during the open hostilities. It goes on, J.D. Vance goes on to say, I've noticed a couple of bizarre things in the reporting over the last few hours. First, people who rightly said Donald Trump was a historic president a month ago, now criticizing a deal based on unconfirmed media reports. Second, people who say you can trust a word said by the IRGC, who apparently believe anonymously sourced social media posts. The president is going to get us a good outcome one way or another. Now, this video right here is surfacing of the 39 times Donald Trump has said we're on the verge of a deal. Hat tip to CNN for putting this brilliant montage together. Let's play it.
We have major points of agreement. They want to make a deal, and we are very willing to make a deal.
Well, I think we're going to end it. I can't tell you for sure when they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal.
They want to make a deal so badly. I do see a deal in Iran. We were very close to a deal.
I think it's close to over, yeah. I view it as very close to over.
It's looking very good that we're going to make a deal with Iran, and it's going to be a good deal. This process should go very quickly. We're going to end that war very quickly. They want to make a deal so badly. We think we're close to a deal, and that's okay. We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal.
Now, it does seem that Trump and his MAGA Republicans are already moving on to their next target, their next invasion, because they're bloodthirsty. And they seem to be moving on to Cuba. And so here's what MAGA Republican Congress member Carlos Jimenez said about Cuba. Let's play this clip right here.
On Cuba, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was there this week meeting with troops at Guantanamo Bay. He's warning Havana about acquiring weapons, Congressman. Your district includes Key West, which sits less than 100 miles away from Cuba. You're also the only Cuban-born congressman. Your thoughts?
No, we know that they have already over 300 drones. And so we know some of those drones have a range of about 600 miles, which means all of the southeastern United States is actually now threatened by Cuba. Cuba has always been a national security threat to the United States. We have Russian and Chinese spy bases there. Iran is operating there. I'm sure that Hezbollah is operating in Cuba. They are not our friend. And so what's happening there now is that the regime is collapsing economically. The people of Cuba are starting to rise up. President Trump has said that he's got his eye on Cuba, and once we finish with Iran, then he's going to turn his attention to Cuba. So hopefully the day of a free Cuba is close at hand.
All right.
Okay. Now, not only can Donald Trump not get any deals done in the executive branch, and that he's caused such grievous pain and injury to our country, and he's just screwed up and destroyed so many agencies and things that were working, actually, not fixing anything. I just reflect on the news of what's even going on with his real estate properties just in the past 24 or 48 hours, like Trump's New York golf club cited by the state health department for serving spoiled food. Spoiled, adulterated food being served at Trump's Hudson Valley Golf Club. And it's one of several Trump properties hit with health code violations in the past year alone. It talks about how Trump's golf course in the Hudson Valley has been making people sick. A Dutchess County health inspector flagged the Trump National Golf Club in Hudson Valley in Hopewell Junction for a critical violation at its restaurant, according to a New York State Department health inspection record that was just surfaced. The violation stems from the restaurants having food from unapproved sources, spoiled, adulterated on the premise. Also, we know about hat tip to notice for this great reporting, by the way. In December, Chicago health inspectors found flies, faulty dishwashers, and wastewater flooding the floor on the main kitchen area around the prep sinks. And in November, Westchester County Department of Health officials found insects and rodents at the Trump National Golf Club in Westchester. So a guy who literally is surrounding himself with fleas and gnats and rodents. Does it shock you that March 1, he promised? We got a deal in 4 to 5 weeks. March 9th, very soon. March 16th, won't be too long. The 23rd, very good and productive conversations. The 26th, talks to end the war are going very well. The 29th, I think we'll make a deal with them. Pretty sure. April 1st, very shortly. April 6th, they've made a proposal, and it's a significant proposal. On the 8th, a big day for world peace. May 18th. We've had very big discussions with Iran. May 23rd will be announced shortly. June 1st, rapid pace. June 11th, next few days. Okay, well, there you have it. I mean, it's just lie after lie after lie with this regime. Oh, 2 other data points I want to make. One, obviously, Donald Trump's polling and approval, record lows right now, record lows. And moments ago, we just got word as well that Judge Brinkema, judge from Eastern District of Virginia, officially issued a preliminary injunction blocking Trump's slush fund to the January 6th insurrectionists. And the judge was asking the Trump DOJ lawyer, like, okay, just put it under penalty of perjury that you're not going to do this slush fund. And I don't need to do an injunction. Just put it in writing. And then the Trump DOJ lawyer's like, I'm not sure I have that authority. And the federal judge is like, okay, you know how like Trump can't make deals? Just write it on a piece of paper that you're not going to do this slush fund. Otherwise, I'm issuing an order. Okay, here's the order. You can't do the slush fund. Doesn't that perfectly sum up everything Trump right now? Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.